everyone, this is Rachel, and I'm here with the Crafty Maven Getaway for Mix It Up Monday. Today I'm making a birthday card using the Mama Elephant stamp and die set called Playful Pups. And I'm going to be doing a couple of different mixed media type style workings a la Christina Werner, getting my little coloring on. So I'm going to start with these two stamps from the set, and I'm going to use the Ranger dye ink. It is waterproof, and I like the consistency of using it. I got to try this out when a friend of mine and I were at a crop together, and I really like it. She has all the colors. I just have the black. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Green Hills stamping spot from Hero Arts to do that little tennis ball, and I'm also going to stamp a small bone with the dye ink along with the outline of that tennis ball. Now, I'm going to use my Distress ink in Black Soot to color one of the dogs, and then I'm going to use a combination of Scattered Straw and Vintage Photo to color the other one. My parents have a black Schnauzer, a black Schnorky, which is a Schnauzer Yorkie mix, and then two brown and blonde Schnorkies. And I'm making this card for my mother, so I wanted to kind of go true to form. So I'm just using some water, some black soot ink, and then a paintbrush to color this. I'm going to cut this out right now and go to the second one, basically because I'm not the world's best colorer. I just kind of do this to get by. This is actually far more intensive than I normally do with my cards, but it was for my mom, so I figured why not. So cutting ahead to the end of coloring the little yellow dude. And I'm just adding some touches of Vintage Photo and then gathered twigs to the ends of what would be a Schnauzer beard and the tail and the ears, because that's where they're, and also the paws, because that's where they are naturally darkest. So I really am trying to mimic their animals. So, as I said, I'm kind of doing a la Christina Werner. I love to watch all of her videos, and I definitely find that just going ahead and doing this is not as hard as it seems. It can be very daunting to try to watercolor or do anything of this type of like messiness. Now understand, I'm not a painter, I am not a drawer, I have no artistic capability whatsoever, but this actually is pretty simple. Using the Distress inks and water, it just works really easy. So now that I've finished my coloring and I allowed time to dry, oh, that's one of my ferrets. She likes to drink the dregs of my tea, so I apologize for that. She'll be gone in just a few seconds. While she's drinking, I am cutting out these die cuts, and I'm just going to run them through on my Cuttlebug. They cut really nicely with just a little bit of a white outline, so I was very impressed with the quality of their stuff. If anyone has ever purchased and ever wanted to purchase from Mama Elephant, if you had any, if you wanted to know what the quality was, their quality is very, very nice. So I get those all set to go through, and she's going to get out in just a minute because, yeah, I had to stop it because she was getting annoying. So I go ahead, and what I'm going to work on now is I'm doing a strip of grass that I want on the bottom of my card, and I could not find my mini mister, so I decide I'm just going to add a little bit of water from a bottle, which was basically the worst thing I could possibly do. So then I make it worse by doing that. So I'm just going to take my Distress ink spray stains, and I'm just going to kind of spray at it and then blot it off until I get the colors I want. I'm using peeled paint and twisted citron. I added an extra in there, sorry. And then a little bit of squeezed lemonade. And I'm also going to use the squeezed lemonade to create a sun. And I'm just going to dip that in until I get the color I want. And then I'm just going to hand cut that around in a quarter of a circle. Now, I had already done the main part of my background because I needed to take it over to my spray box, and I just misted Tattered Angels, Blue Skies, and Distress ink spray in Salty Ocean, and then what I did was I sprinkled white dilutions over the top of it. So I'm just going to put that grass, which I just did a rough cut on, and then I edged it with some ink, and now I'm going to put down my sun that I just cut out, and then I edged also with ink. Now I'm using Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in my fine line bottle, and these are all the Ranger watercolor paper that comes in that card size. So I'm popping up my pups, and then I'm going to place the tennis ball and the bone on there as well. And then I'm going to grab a little piece of paper I have, just a piece of leftover paper. Oh, I'm sorry. First I'm going to pop it all up and put it on some craft cardstock, and then I'm going to grab a piece of scratch paper, and I'm going to grab the greeting, which says Yappy Birthday, which is basically, besides the fact that they have schnauzers, and I have a schnauzer, the fact that they had a little saying called Yappy Birthday, it was one of the reasons I definitely got this stamp and die set. So I'm just putting the other greeting about, you know, wishing you a happy birthday. Oh, and I'm also going to put some paw prints on the inside. Oh, that's right. I just put the paw prints. I didn't put any greeting in. I was going to handwrite something. So now I'm cutting up my banner, and I'm going to cut some fishtails onto it. And that is pretty much going to finish up my card. I am going to pop this greeting up on some foam tape I had left over. So I'm just going to get that down and get it into all the nooks and crannies that I have on that. And that's going to complete my card. So I'd like to thank you so much for joining me here on the Crafty Maven's Getaway. I will see you again sometime next month, I think. Enjoy the videos everyone's putting up, and come visit us and join us on our Facebook group. All of the descriptions for everything is in the box below. Everyone have a great day. Enjoy, and bye!